Do you find that your coworkers don't listen to you, especially if you're new to the group? In this video, I'm going to be going over just a few ways you can start getting your coworkers to better listen to you at work today. So you've come to the realization that your coworkers aren't listening to you. That can be very daunting, especially if you're new to an organization. And there's a few ways you can start gaining some social intelligence, or SQ, and get your coworkers to listen to you. The first thing is, are you listening to them? There's some reciprocity expected at work, and if you start paying better attention to your coworkers, perhaps they might start paying attention to you. And again, depending on your organization, most people are unconscious at work these days, so don't take anything personally when people don't pay attention to you, because they're probably up in their heads just as much as you are, or more, depending on what organization and industry that you're in. Now, it'd be nice if everyone treated each other with default respect, but some people, especially if they're more old school, titles usually speak for the people that you don't know. So if you are coming in with a lower title than someone else, they might not have default respect for you. This can be very frustrating. It could also make it feel like you're not being heard in an organization, especially if you have some expertise in particular areas or you're somewhat of a subject matter expert. This could be very frustrating to not be listened to, especially when you know you're right. We also have to talk about your reputation. If you're not new to the organization, do you have a positive or a negative reputation? When people hear their name, do they feel good, or do they be like, wow, I don't want to talk to that guy? If the latter, you definitely need to start working on fixing your reputation and paying better attention to how you treat people. I have another video about not burning bridges, which really comes to mind when it comes to not being listened to at work as well, because these are very interrelated topics when we get into social intelligence. All this is playing at a high level, and there's a lot of interplay between all these topics. Another thing that you can start to do to try to be better heard is to start developing and caring about your charisma and how you come off. If you're in engineering, the bar for having charisma is so low. You normally would never hear like charisma and engineer in the same sentence. That's not something that engineers usually have. So having good communication skills, having emotional and social intelligence, these things don't normally come with engineer. They don't normally travel with engineer. And if you can become a socially intelligent engineer, people are going to be listening to you, and they're going to take your advice, and they will be starting to respect you more. Especially if you're listening to people actively at work, so you're listening to understand, not to respond. As I like to say, one of the big problems with engineers is that when you're talking to one, sometimes it just turns into two people having a monologue pointed at each other. Neither is actually intending to listen to the other person to understand what they're saying. They're just talking at each other. If you can start paying attention to what the other person's saying, instead of just waiting your turn to interject your thoughts, you can really start to pay better attention. This really just comes down to being more conscious when you're at work and communicating with people, especially in person. Because if people aren't paying attention to you in person, that definitely says there's something that you need to be working on. So are you reading nonverbal cues well? There's a lot of things here where if people are not paying attention to you and you're in the room, I would find that quite disrespectful. But can you read the social cues? Do you know why they're doing this? These are some questions I would start asking myself if you're noticing this. The awareness to see that there's a problem is a great first step, but you have to start taking tangible steps to pay better attention. So you're now going from unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent. That's perfect. And now we're going to move to try to get to conscious competence. And that's where paying better attention, developing some charisma, then your peers might start to listen to you. I know you got a lot of value out of this quick video about how to get your peers to listen to you. If you'd like to learn more about social intelligence, you can check out my SQ playlist up here, or if you're already an SQ rockstar, you can get back to IQ topics in this playlist. Or keep getting the results that you've been getting. Hope to see you soon.